Hey guys, can you see all my pores? I hope so, because otherwise I'm gonna get a refund. Joking, I don't think I can anymore, so hopefully this camera's gonna work out. Last month I got a new PC and I've finally been doing my editing on like a nice big screen, because before I'd be doing it on my like really old bad laptop, and I always saw that my videos were quite blurry, but I was like, nah, that's just my laptop screen. Oh no, that was my camera. It was actually kind of unsightly to look at. I don't know whether I'm just particularly harsh because they're my videos, but yeah, I was watching them back and I was like, hang on, like you guys have been subscribing to this? No way. So I decided to upgrade and here we are. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. And I'm very glad that it came just in time for everyone's favorite monthly videos, my May favorites. Today I have, as usual actually, a big list of all the things that I loved in May that I would love to share with you guys. A lot of these things are things that I've discovered in the month, little like hacks and like tips for life that I learned this month, a few things that I've bought, a few things that I've done, just like everything in the month that has been useful or noteworthy to me. The first thing I would like to share, I actually already spoke about in my last video, and that is regular nail polish, which how is that a May favorite if I always have regular nail polish on? That is because at the start of May, I tried for the first time ever a gel manicure because my best friend bought one of those like fancy Miley UV lamps. And at first I loved it so much and I was like, wow, oh my goodness, first May favorite found, gel nail polish. On a positive note, things that I liked. I appreciated how robust my manicure was, and I also think it was like the smoothest, sleekest manicure I had in my life. Like literally right now, all of my nails are looking very, very crusty. And before, when I'd be like, oh, my nails are looking crusty, and you guys would see, you wouldn't really see because there was like very blurry and very few pixels, right? But now you guys can see the close up of the disgusting crusty nails. I still prefer this to gel nail polish. Gel nail polish. I think for as smooth and as sleek and as robust as the nail polish was, as the gel nail polish was, it just had too many pitfalls. One of them being the fact that I really like to switch up my nails often. Also claustrophobic with the feeling of the actual gel. Me and my friend were probably doing it wrong because we'd not done gel nail polish before, but I felt like it was quite thick and it was really clearly there, whereas this I can barely feel, and I can also just like take off whenever I want really easily. Whereas with the nail polish, the gel nail polish, it was like a whole ordeal. Again, me and my friend were probably doing it wrong, but apparently doing it correctly, you're supposed to soak your nails in acetone for 20 minutes and then you have to like scrape off the polish, which like I think I mentioned it in my last video. I might have ended up cutting it out because I was really going on about it for really long, but I have really bad sensory issues and they are very much linked to the nail area, and any sort of scraping feeling I can't stand. Like I have never let anybody push my cuticles back because I can't, like I'll never get acrylics just for that reason. In the end, like my friend had to take the polish off for me because I literally was like, I cannot stomach the feeling of this scraping. And it was just such a hassle, I think, for such little gain. Like, yes, it was very smooth and yes, it was very chip free. But I don't know if I'm trying to make myself feel better, but I really love the chipped polish look, to be honest. So then when I got home after taking off my second gel, because I did it once and then I was like, okay, I'll try it again. And then after my second go, I was like, hell no, this is not for me. I went home and I don't think it was this polish, I put a different one on. See, I've already changed it. I put on some just like traditional normal nail polish on my stubby nails, on my broken nails, and look how beautiful. I just love it so much. So yeah, this month I have absolutely fallen back in love with just traditional nail polish, which is definitely for the best because I have like a whole basket of it. So like I'm glad that is not going to waste. Ooh, I need to eat some fruits. Oh my goodness, wait, is it going to... Poof. Please recommend me your favorite blue nail polish because this shade has been discontinued and my boyfriend managed to find, I don't know how he found it, but he found someone selling it, but once that's gone, I have a feeling it's going to be gone for good. I don't know if he's going to magically be able to make another bottle appear out of nowhere. So please, if you have any recommendations of nail polish that looks kind of like this, let me know. The next thing that I've really been loving has been growing out my fringe, which I'm sure a lot of people will not be happy about because the last time I said I was going to grow my fringe out, a lot of people were saying to bring back the micro fringe, and I did for a bit, but then I remembered why I wanted to grow it out. I think in the summer months, the fringe just gets too greasy too fast, and I've also had a fringe for years now. I can't remember what I really look like without a fringe. Obviously, like I've got the clips in and stuff, but how I just like normally look without a fringe, I don't really know. There's like actually quite few photos because I've just had a fringe for so long. And even though I said it's been a few years, before that time period, my fringeless days were very short. I had a fringe, I very briefly grew it out, and then I had a fringe again. So I've had a fringe for most of my life and I just don't really, I don't know. I think it's time for a switch up, especially now that I don't let myself bleach my hair and dye my hair anymore. This is all virgin hair, finally. And as fantastic as that is, I kind of miss changing how I look. And I know growing out a fringe is like, it's not really a huge switch up, but it is a small one. And I think I just want to see myself a little bit differently. So yeah, I'm really, really excited to see what I look like with my big forehead. I went to my boyfriend's house, and one of the first things that his sister said to me was like, whoa, you've got a big forehead. And then, as if that wasn't bad enough, she started like actually measuring it, like she was in shock. Anyways, I don't think I have that big of a forehead. But either way, I actually kind of love a big forehead. So I feel like either I don't have one, which is fine, or I have one, which is fine. And either way, I'm gonna be fringes for a little bit. And also, I get sometimes DMs from people being like, oh my god, I cut my fringe because of you, and like, help, for some reason my hair will not stay in the place that a fringe should stay. That is, I think, just because your hair's not used to being in that direction. And usually when I tell them that, I'm like, okay, give it a few days, and if your hair still will not stick like that, then maybe there's an issue. And usually after a few days, they're like, yeah, you know what, my hair has now started just like that way. I had the opposite problem where it was really difficult to make my hair part like this because all of the fringe pieces were used to just shooting out straight. However, now they stay in place. Although it might be a little bit because of the grease and my hair does need to be washed. It's quite well behaved. I feel like I couldn't even, okay, ignore the grease, but I feel like I couldn't even get it back into the fringe position if I tried. Okay, I can only see myself in this teeny camera, but actually the forehead is huge. Although I don't know whether it's just because of the glasses. Also, I'm getting new glasses, guys. I'm very excited. Oops, so my fringeless days. I thought I wouldn't like it. I thought that I don't know, I think I like looking strange. I really liked that the fringe made me look quite like an egghead, to be honest. I know a lot of people don't want to look like an egghead, but I was enjoying it. I think I really liked looking a little bit alien-y. It reminded me a lot of how I looked as a toddler, and I really liked that. I don't know, it was quite like inner child healing, reclaiming the like teeny weeny block bangs. However, this I'm enjoying so far. We'll see how long it lasts though. If you see me with a teeny fringe again in like a few weeks, the next thing that I've really, really loved is actually something that I'm wearing right now, although you wouldn't know, and that is Fugazzi Angel Dust. Am I on the right? Yeah. This was sent to me by brilliant love of my life, my sweetheart, my darling, my everything, Caitlin. You guys probably already know her. Dear Milk Fed on YouTube, and I think Caitlin and Charlie on TikTok. Love of my life. She sent me a birthday present, and in there were a few perfume samples, and she'd spoken to me about Fugazzi Angel Dust, and she was like, oh, do you know Fugazzi? And I was like, the band? And she was like, no, the perfume company. I've never heard of them. I still actually haven't really researched them or anything. Maybe I should, because I am in love with this scent. There's very few perfumes that I've smelled in my life where I've been like, I could see this being a bit of like a signature scent, you know? I love change. Something I love about perfume is the fact that it can like really transport you to different places and different feelings. And I love that you can be someone new every day. However, I want to be this person every single day. The moment I smell this, right, let me get the notes up, hang on. Because I feel like I cannot put into words how delicious, beautiful this is. Apparently this has cashmere musk, cashmerean, pepper, white amber, and bergamot. Actually, I'm like super surprised. I did not realize that. These notes are blended so perfectly that I cannot really pick apart any individual note in particular, and I normally do not like musk scents, and I do not like powdery scents. This, and actually when I first smelled this, I was like, this is nothing like I would usually wear. Nothing in my perfume collection smells anything like this at all. Wait, I didn't notice that I'd already finished a sample. No, heartbroken, but that's okay. Honestly, no, I'm on a perfume buying ban, but I might need to like give my partner a few hints because our anniversary is coming up, and like, yeah, I literally was so surprised when I first smelled this because I was like, I do not like things like this. I have nothing that smells like this, and yet I love this. How I described it to my partner, and I don't know if they have similar notes, but an issue I have with Maison Margiela by the Fireplace, I love that scent and I love how it smells on other people, but for me, I only really pick up the burnt smell. I don't know what it is about my skin chemistry, but there's no sweetness to it, whereas on other people, I've smelled it and it literally smells like marshmallows. This for me is like the mood of By the Fireplace if it was a bit sweeter, which is perfect for me because By the Fireplace isn't sweet at all on me. However, I'm very bad at describing perfume, so let's read some Fragrantica reviews. It is sexy in a clean, grungy way, like a really expensive leather jacket that is meant to look a little worn. On me, this is a very sweet tobacco with pepper. Ooh, I don't get any tobacco on me, but like that kind of vibe, I guess. Yeah, definitely not the clean laundry vibe I was expecting. I've noticed I always reach for this perfume when I'm ovulating. It's like I instinctively want to dial up the attraction. I don't know if it's that sexy. Someone said, wow, it's wild how fragrances react so differently from one skin chemistry to the next. For real. Reading these reviews, a lot of them aren't really what I'm picking up. For me, it is definitely a lot cozier than a lot of the kind of like sexiness that people are describing. I've been spraying this before going to bed. Like if you guys need to know how I've been using this, this has been my nighttime scent. And it's so nice because I think I must have rubbed it onto my bed sheets or something. And like every now and then I get a whiff of it. Maybe I need to clean my bed sheets actually. In my defense, I've been wearing this for like a week, okay? I don't want to hear any Sogurus3's disgusting comments, please. It's so cozy in a way that I think I just don't normally like cozy scents. Most of my favorite scents are very bright, like very, very bright. For context, the closest thing I'd say I have to like a signature scent is Sunflower Pop by Floral Street. And that is like a, let's get the notes up. Top notes, mandarin orange, passion fruit, bergamot, Bellini, what is that? Plum blossom, orris, honey, musk, and amber. It's very psh. It is literally the brightest perfume I've ever smelled, which is why I think I like it so much. So I'm very surprised that I like this so much, but this is like truly the polar opposite. Like that one is very like psh, fun, intense in that way. This is so intense in the coziness. The coziness is dialed up on this. I love this so much. Thank you so much, Caitlin. Something else that I've really been loving this month is picking up on old hobbies that I think I've really been neglecting. I think actually part of the thing that's inspired that is the fact that I've noticed my screen time is really high. And one way I've been trying to combat that is because it's all well and good to be like, oh, use your phone less. But if you're using your phone a lot, it's like, okay, and what am I going to replace that with? And for me, I think the best way to replace screen time is replacing it with something physical that takes a lot of focus and that you easily get lost in. Because that way it's like, I don't have the urge to be on my phone because I'm really busy right now. And for me, that's been playing guitar and also crocheting. And I've been crocheting a little hat, but it's really fugly, so I won't show it. But I'll show you what I've been learning on guitar, and it's really not good, right? I need to quickly, disclaimer, I used to be absolutely cracked at guitar, and it's quite depressing because I am not at all anymore. Like, one thing I was really shocked by trying to play it again was how weak my fingers were. My fingers are just not as calloused as they used to be, and I can't slide anymore. And I really struggled with like my pinky and stuff. I can't stretch my pinky as much. And it was really weird because it's like my body used to be able to do this so easily, and I've neglected this so much that it's such a struggle now. My fingers used to be so calloused that I remember one time I was in the woods with my ex and he was like, how are you doing that? And I was like, what are you talking about? Because I was fiddling with a leaf. And he was like, how are you doing that? And I was like, what are you talking about? I'm just fiddling with a leaf. And he was like, put that leaf on your leg and see what happens. And I smacked it on my leg, and immediately I had this burning rash because it was actually a stinging nettle, but my fingers were so callous that like it could not penetrate this tough skin. Anyways, I'll show you guys what I've been learning. It's really poor, it's really bad. Just like, I don't want to hear any like, wow, Sogurus3, I didn't know you were so good at guitar comments, because I know this is going to be very, very bad. But it's been really, really nice to try and kind of play around with the guitar a bit because I've not done it in so long. But hopefully with practice, I'll get back to maybe somewhere that I used to be. Oh shit. Anyways, I'm sure anyone who plays guitar, and also probably most people, can hear that I'm missing a lot of notes, and especially that like hammer on with the pinky. You can hear that like I can't do it, and like there was a day where I was getting it quite well, but I think I've maybe like overworked myself a bit and I'm feeling very weak again. So maybe when that muscle builds, maybe when that muscle builds a bit more, I'll be able to do it more confidently. Because yeah, there was a point where I was able to do it because I think I built that muscle enough, but maybe I've like over practiced a bit, if that makes sense. As you can hear, I am missing a lot of those because my pinky is very, very weak, and I've also just been missing a lot of the notes because it's just I'm not as good as I used to be. I also always struggled with like picking with the pick. I'd always like finger pick for songs like that, so I always like miss the string I'm supposed to pluck, but whatever, we're getting there. But yeah, it's been really, really fun to practice that again. It's been really fun to crochet, and I find that it's such a great way. If you're somebody who wants to use your phone a bit less, use screens a bit less, I really recommend finding a physical hobby that takes a lot of focus. And like you can't really, it's like I can't have my attention split while I'm playing guitar. It's like I could have something in the background like a movie or something, but I wouldn't notice if there wasn't. And similar with crochet, it's like it's nice to sometimes have like a series on or like a YouTube video on and crochet, but if you were to take that away from me, I probably wouldn't notice because I get so sucked in. So I recommend that for anyone who's trying to use their screen less. And also this leads me to my next May favorite thing. I have been loving not using my phone before bed. And I think maybe a month ago or like 2 months ago, one of my favorite things was not using my phone in the morning. But now I also really love not using it before bed. I find that it's improved my sleep quality like a lot. Like I feel so much more relaxed and like in sleepy mode before bed. And also like I don't know. I don't know how much of this is just like placebo and I think I'm feeling this, so now I am feeling this. I don't know how true this is, but I feel way more clear. I feel way more clarity before going to bed. Probably, that's probably true. Like, I'm not overloading myself, especially because I think it depends on what you use your phone for. If you are using your phone to read like a few news articles and then you're having like a very in-depth conversation with someone over text, that's probably a lot less overstimulating for your brain than scrolling TikTok for hours and hours, which I used to be really good at not doing until recently. I feel like TikTok has finally cracked what makes me addicted. And I say finally, I think I said this months ago actually. TikTok managed to crack what makes me addicted, and I think I've been using it way more than I'd like, way more than I'd like. So it's been really nice to give myself that time before bed to not use my phone at all, and I find that I get so much more ready for sleep, and my sleep is so much better in quality, and I feel so much clearer, and it's just so fantastic. I find also that I then become a lot more productive about cozy things before bed. I don't know how to explain it, but I have things that I like to do before bed that I feel like are very good for me, good for my nervous system, probably good for my sleep, such as journaling before bed or reading before bed, doing like very calm activities like that, having a nice sleep tea and really enjoying the sleep tea and smelling all of the sleepy scents in it, because that's also part of what makes sleepy tea so sleepy. Also, I have a sunset lamp for seasonal depression, and I think it really works. I know some people talk shit about sunset lamps, but for me, I think they're great. And actually using the sunset feature, because I mostly use it for the sunrise alarm, but the sunset feature on that shit knocks me out. That knocks me out so well, and I find that I just often don't have time to use it because I've been on my phone and then I need to go to sleep. But doing all these kinds of things that I feel like are very good for my body clock, for me in general, I find being able to do them more because I have more time, because I say, okay, 2 hours before bed I can't use my phone. What should I do? Oh, how about all of the things that I like to do before bed that I want to do every single day but I just don't have time to do? So that's been really great. And also linking to my last point, I think a really great way to segue from using my phone to, okay, wind down time, is playing guitar or like crocheting or doing something like that to kind of make my mind latch onto something else that's a lot slower and a lot more purposeful. And then afterwards I'm like, oh, I'd also like to start getting ready for bed now. So yeah, I've been really liking that. I'd also really like to introduce you guys to somebody. There are some things that I don't like to share online because they are a bit too personal. And this one really nearly made the cut of things that are too personal to share online. But someone realized her, I'm not sure what this person's gender is yet. This sounds like I'm about to reveal a baby. But someone was like, oh, is that what this thing is, because I used her or him as one of the transition slides like 2 videos ago, I think. She's already had a debut, I may as well show her. This is MOUSEY mouse. This is a MOUSEY mouse, I think is what they're called. And Caitlin sent me this for my birthday along with all the perfume samples. And I would die for her. I never got the trinket hype. I have to actually admit right now, I never understood the trinket hype. I didn't understand, like, why would you buy something that doesn't have a functional purpose to just sit there? I get it. I love her so much. Also, this isn't even the best part. I mean, she is the best part, but also there's like more to it. You thought this was sick enough. You thought that the mouse inside of the matchbox, who's sleeping in the matchbox, oh my gosh, I just squished her. You thought that was the sickest part? She has a little briefcase, and oh, I wonder what's in it. Jammy bottoms, and they also have a little hole for her tail. This dress with wings on the back, which she wears during the day. However, she's sleeping right now, so she's obviously, that's a bit clunky. And princess hat. Just know we're matching. Wait, let me go find my princess hat quick. Only people who follow Soggy Rice Free on TikTok would know. I made this for my birthday to feel better about the fact that I was turning 21, because I was very upset about the whole thing. And as you can see, or I don't know if you can see actually, 2 of the stars fell off. She's matching with her mom, guys. Guys, I actually love my life. I can't. Is this not the most incredible thing ever? Not me twinning with my mouse, guys. And I finally absolutely understand the hype around trinkets. Literally the first day I got her, at first I was like, oh, she's beautiful and I love her and I want to find a beautiful place for her to sit and like stay there so I can see her and she's beautiful, right? No, I cannot leave her alone. Like the first day I got her, I had to take her out of her clothes and make sure she was in her pajamas and make sure she's comfortable for bed. And I also sprayed some of the Angel Dust Fugazzi on her because I love it before bed and I find it really cozy. So I was like, surely she might as well. Also, if you guys wondering why this one's full, it's because I forgot that I actually have 2. Caitlin sent me 2. So I do have one finished one, but I do have a whole one still to go through. So life is good. Probably the reason it like finished so fast is because I kept spraying it on her before bed. But yeah, and in the morning I wake up and sometimes I put her little crown on. Sometimes I think though that maybe she doesn't want to wear it because like I don't always like wearing mine because mine's actually kind of clunky as well. But yeah, anyways, I love her so much and it's been brilliant. It reminds me of being a child and having a little object, be that like a toy or sometimes just like a drawing you've done or something, giving it so much love to the point where, I don't know, I don't want to say anything that might suggest that she's not like automatically worthy of love. I need to cover her ears, right, before I start on this like existentialist tirade. Something that really strikes me about living is the fact that nothing means anything unless I cause it to have meaning, unless I choose to give it meaning. I could choose for all of this to mean nothing. I sometimes do choose for all of this to mean nothing when I get a bit depressed, and then I get so depressed, and all of these things that I own and all of these things that I do and all of these people that I love, they only matter to me because I choose to allow them to matter to me. And I think that that's like obvious, right? Like everyone fucking knows that. But I think what strikes me a lot is the way that I think some people reject existentialism. I think I used to maybe reject existentialism a little bit as like the solution and as like the answer to all of these big problems, because I think like, okay, that's kind of dumb. I used to be a bit annoyed by the fact that, well, if I choose for this to matter and I'm aware that I'm choosing this to matter, then I could surely choose for this not to matter, like I said earlier, and then I'd get really depressed. And I felt like it wasn't a satisfactory explanation because it wasn't robust enough. It still relied on me choosing for this to matter. And I was like, well, what if I don't? What if I don't? And then what? I'm just gonna be depressed, I guess, and then I would be depressed. And I wanted something a bit more robust that existed outside of myself to give my life meaning. I didn't trust that I could inject enough meaning into my life for life to be worthwhile. But then something that strikes me so much is the way that children do that, and the sweetness that, like, I don't know, I just love how kids do it. The importance that children give seemingly insignificant items, like I said, items that don't have any functional purpose. Children will draw something, and a lot of the time it will be like, wait, you've done like 50 scribbles that look identical because you can't really hold a pen yet. But one in particular, they will be so attached to that they like have to take home to show to their parents and to show to everyone. Similarly with a lot of objects or kids that get like really attached to rocks and stuff, it's like there are so many others like these. Why is this one in particular so important to you? There isn't a reason other than the fact that they've chosen for it to be important and they've accepted the fact that for some reason they find this important. And I think that I used to reject existentialism so much because I felt like it wasn't grand enough because it existed inside me, but I feel like it exists inside of children as well, which I think is very, very cool to see. Obviously she can't hear right now, but that's not to say that she isn't unconditionally worthy of all the love in the world. But I don't know, I think it's been quite fun tapping into that side of myself again, where I find it hard with physical objects in particular. I think especially because I try to practice, what's the word? Like, I try to practice not having attachment at all to my belongings. And I don't know how helpful that is necessarily, because on the one hand I do think it's important to not be too attached to material things. Like, I'd like to hope that if for some reason I lost all of my books, I wouldn't be like horrifically depressed about it. I would be okay. And I think I don't know whether I take some sort of pride in the fact that I'm maybe a bit less attached to material objects to others. I don't think that's something that I should necessarily be proud about. I don't know, maybe not though, don't trust me. I don't know, I never really know how I feel about things, but I do think that it's a little bit hard because I think I'm a very sentimental person, and I think by trying very hard to not be attached to objects, I am denying myself a level of sentimentality that is very natural to me. Anyways, sentimentality in full swing with this baby. I don't know whether she's a she or a he yet. I've kind of been switching between the two. Maybe she switches between the two. I don't know. She, they, twin, maybe. I'm twinning with the hats. Anyways, I love her so much, but she's going back to sleep now, so. Okay, I'm going to have to take this off to show you guys the next thing. We'll see if I remember to put it back on. I remember when I first started making TikToks with this, and I was like, I am never going to make another TikTok without this hat on my head. And then I never made another TikTok with that hat on my head. Like, it just disappeared after that. But maybe I need to go back on that promise. No, not go back on, go back to that promise. The next thing I'd like to speak to you guys about is loop earplugs. I've just been thinking about it, and I think I've been using the Loop Engage earplugs for maybe 3 years. 3 or 4 years, I think. And I genuinely cannot travel without them. I keep them with me in my like emergency stash tin so that I always have them with me because they are my lifesaver when it comes to my sensory issues. And because of that, I'm so happy, like genuinely fangirling a bit to share that this video is sponsored by Loop earplugs. And I'm also so lucky because they sent me the fantastic Loop Switch 2 earplugs, which I had been eyeing up for a while actually. The Loop Switch 2s are designed to give you the ultimate control over your surroundings with manual dials, which allow you to switch between 3 sound settings without any apps, electronics, or batteries needed at all. As I already said, I really love my Engage earplugs. Those ones are designed to be used out and about, so I would often use them in social situations if I was a bit overwhelmed, because when I have them in, I'm still able to hear people and speak to people, but everything is like a little bit damper, which is exactly what I need. And as much as I love them and I feel like they are really great for their purpose, I do sometimes want even stronger noise reduction. And now with the Loop Switch 2 earplugs, I'm able to switch between engage mode, but also experience mode, which is designed for like concerts and festivals, and quiet mode, which is designed for like ultimate focus. In order to make sure that you have the right fit, the Loop Switch 2 earplugs come with 4 sizes of ear tips, and I'll quickly show you guys how to insert them. On each earplug it says either L or R for left and right, and you want to hold the earplug between your fingers, gently insert the ear tip into your ear, and then twist it back until it sits at the base of your ear. And you can make sure that the seal stays in place by moving your jaw from side to side. If the earplug is loose or is falling out, then you want to size up, but if it feels like it's too tight or it's sticking out, then you want to size down. The Loop earplugs also come with this case, and the earplugs fit in there, and it's so handy because I just carry it around on my phone. So whereas the other one I would carry around with me everywhere I took my bag, now even if I don't have my bag, they are with me always. I genuinely, truly, really love my Loop earplugs. I've spoken about them on here before. I've used them for years, and I am so happy to have partnered with them for this video. If you are interested in buying your own pair of Loop earplugs and you would like 20% off, you can use my code LoopX-Alex. Alex with a KS, not an X, although most of you are quite good with that. I've seen very few incorrect Alex spellings. You can use that code for 20% off, and you can also find the link to the Loop earplugs website in the description of this video. Thank you so much again, Loop earplugs, for sponsoring me. I am your biggest fangirl. The next thing that I've really been loving is this ministerstwo honey lip balm and mask from my auntie. I've never heard of this brand before, and from research I'm pretty sure that this is a Polish brand. My auntie's Polish, but thank you so much to her because this has been a saving grace for me. I usually am very picky about my lip products. I am a lanolin lover. I only really use products with lanolin in because I personally feel like it's the only thing that makes my lips actually feel hydrated. A lot of lip products I either feel like leave my skin feeling really oily on the surface, and it doesn't feel like my lips are really soaking up that like hydration and oil and whatever. Or if I use like petroleum jelly based products, I think this is actually just maybe how petroleum jelly works. I feel like it's just locking in the moisture that's already there, but a lot of the time I'm like, wait, I don't have moisture, like I need the moisture to actually lock in. This is a lanolin lip balm, although like it's got lots of other stuff in as well. It feels so brilliant on my lips, and because it's a lip mask, it's a lot more hydrating than lip balms are. I get very paranoid about having dry lips, partly because I hate the feeling, as like I'm sure most people do, and also I get dry lips very easily, but also because I get cold sores, and I find that having very dry lips or having like a crack in my lip is a huge cold sore trigger for me. Obviously it depends on the person, but for me that is like, if I have that, it's like a 50% chance I'm gonna get a cold sore. So I really try to keep my lips hydrated, but I also often forget. So it'll be like bedtime and I'm like, wait, my lips are like actually crusty, peeling off, like I am going to get a cold sore. And then I whip this baddie out and I put it on, and I feel like this has been one of the most hydrating things I've ever used on my lips. I don't know where this is available to buy. You might have to buy it online, but I don't even know where they ship because yeah, I'm pretty sure this is a Polish brand. However, this is one of my favorite lip balms I've ever used. And also it smells so brilliant. What is this smell? You would not believe that I talk about perfume on my channel with the way that I am unable to identify like any smells ever. Oh, to be honest, no matter what you like, unless you're vegan and unless you really like petroleum jelly for some reason, this is for you. Lanolin, beeswax, honey, shea butter, lactic acid, it's got everything in. But what is the smell is what I need to know. I don't know. Just trust me, it smells so yummy. It smells like honey, but like sometimes honey smelling stuff just smells a bit sickly for me. This smells like honey, but like I want to chew on it. I really want to chew on it and like gnaw on it. Anyways, I love this so much. The next thing I've been loving is a classic combo that for some reason has just been hitting so hard recently, and that is coffee and almond croissant. Preferably a really buttery, rich, gluttonous almond croissant. Humongous, preferably. Like the most unhealthy almond croissant that could possibly exist. That's the dream. That's where the bar's at. And a delicious coffee on the side. Usually for me, that's an iced coffee with oat milk. Genuinely the most perfect combo. I had a day this month that I broke my sobriety, guys. Not in a deep way. I was with my boyfriend, his mum, and my best friend's dad. But not my best friend, just her dad. And also my boyfriend's mum and my best friend's dad had never met before. Like, I don't know what the hell the group was, but I was like, if I'm going to ever break my sobriety, today is the day. This is the group that I want to drink with. And they were drinking, so I was like, okay, you know what, like I have to. Reflections on my sobriety being broken? Not again, to be honest. It just wasn't worth it. I mean, like, if it was ever gonna be a time it was gonna be worth it, it was with that group, but it still wasn't worth it. Like, I just really don't like the feeling of drinking. I didn't drink much, but I have alcohol intolerance. So before, when I was drinking, it's because I was drinking regularly enough that my tolerance was like somewhat, still very low, but like somewhat acceptable. Whereas that night I had one drink, and when I went to bed, my head was spinning. Like, it was really bad. And I woke up the next day and I felt so awful. And my boyfriend, bless him, he's not like strictly sober the way I am, where I like, as a kind of like rule, don't drink, but he's basically sober in practice. Like, he just doesn't really drink either, and he was very sick the next morning, bless him. We were just feeling rough. We were just sat in his garden. Okay, this is completely off topic, but I used to hate the feeling of being like hungover, right? Feeling hungover is one of the worst things ever because it really feels like you've just wasted the whole second day as well. Especially because I'm someone who really loves the mornings and really loves like classic daytime activities, and I can't do any of them because I feel awful until like 5 p.m. on the day I'm hungover. But to be honest, I did have a moment where I felt a very deep sentimentality and love and respect for the feeling of a hangover, because I was led in his garden and my face was in the grass, and his mum brought me like a blanket and was like, lay in the blanket, and I was like, okay, my body will be on the blanket but my face needs to be in the grass because I need to smell the dirt. And I kind of weakly tilted my head to the side. Also, this is all after wondering, like I really should not be drinking, but I tilted my head to the side and I could see his washing swaying on the line, and I just felt such a like the same feeling I always get hungover, which is this deep kind of realization that I can do nothing right now but just lay and watch the washing move. But something that I've not really felt before, because before I would be hungover like a bit too often to appreciate it. I was like, wow, how kind of fantastic and how human. Like, I don't know, from a kind of ritual perspective, I guess humans have been doing substances for ages. I don't know how long. If anyone knows how long, please let me know. And I just felt so kind of primal and so like in touch with my ancestors in that moment, just being like, God, I'm too hungover to even get up. All I can do right now is smell the dirt and look at the thing swaying. And my boyfriend's next to me and he's feeling awful and he's also in that state. He was worse than me actually. I think he couldn't even look. He had like a hat over his head. He like, bless his heart. But I looked over and I was like, God, how beautiful, how at peace I feel, and how one with the moment and like strangely really present and meditative I feel. And it was quite nice having this cap on what I was able to do. I think maybe normally I push myself a little bit with how much I'm able to do in a day. Not really, I'm quite lazy, but like how much I should be able to do in a day. Whereas that day I was like, wait, I can do nothing this morning but just lay in the sunshine. It was brilliant. Anyways, back on topic. And then I was like, damn, I need to eat something. And I know what I want to eat. And I know what I want to eat because I know what my favorite combo of the month has been. And I think the only like delivery available was like Waitrose or something. One thing about Waitrose, they do good almond croissants, okay? Waitrose Cafe almond croissants. So I did spend a pretty penny, but I was like, look, I'm trying very hard to save money and I do spend a kind of stupid amount of money on takeaway, but I was like, okay, this is justified because I have drunk for the first time in like over a year. And I ordered us a big pack, I think maybe like 2 packs of Waitrose almond croissants, and we made coffee, and I also ordered a smoothie, and I just had the almond croissant with the coffee, and I was like, wait, this is all a girl needs. This is all a girl needs. Anyway, so that was brilliant. Another thing I've been enjoying is having no labels on any of my stuff. I realized that I think I just kind of, it's probably because the screen time's high, I'm a bit sick of being advertised to. I was gonna say like I found all the labels overstimulating, but that would be really ironic considering like the sheer amount of posters in my room and just like also how messy my room is all the time. It's like, come on, the last thing I'm getting overstimulated by in my room is the labels. First, there's gonna be the laundry all over the floor, right? But I was like, okay, I'm a bit sick of seeing all these brand names all the time. So I took off all the labels. This is just a few things. Most of my cosmetics now do not have labels on them anymore. This is the Salt of the Earth deodorant that I use only after I shower before bed, which is very like, it's a very niche purpose. So I was like, yeah, I am gonna forget what this is. So I've written deodorant there. This is a concoction of hair oils that I've put in a travel tube thing. This is the ordinary hyaluronic acid. And I've done this with all my stuff and it's been quite nice. It's helped less so with what I thought it would help with, which was, I don't know what I actually expected. I thought it would just make things nicer to look at. Not necessarily, they're actually a bit kind of confusing to look at because it's like, what is this? And also like a lot of the glue didn't come off of the label. So it's kind of disgusting to look at all the hair and like grime stuck to that, right? But something that it has helped with is my urge to spend money. As good as I've gotten with not spending money, I'm low-key the saving queen now, okay guys? I used to be so bad at spending money. I'm definitely way better. But one thing that still gets me is beautiful things. But recently it's been like, okay, if I want to buy like, I don't know, a hair product because the packaging is so beautiful, and I tell myself, yeah, okay girl, get it. And then when you get home you have to take the packaging off. Maybe I don't want it actually. And that's been really, really great. So I think that's been really, really helpful. I have also really been loving dancing. I always love dancing. This isn't a May favorite, but for some reason this May in particular, it might just be because the sun's coming out and I'm feeling a bit less lazy because the seasonal depression's gone, but I have been dancing so much. I have been the non-stop dance queen. In the mornings I wake up, I put on music, I dance. In the evenings I dance. Sometimes when I'm just kind of like bored, I dance. When I'm walking, sometimes I boogie while I walk. When I cycle, sometimes I boogie while I cycle. Maybe not recommended for safety reasons. I went to a gig with with the new gang, my boyfriend, his mum, and my best friend's dad, but not my best friend for some reason. And at one point, a bunch of people like went down to the floor and were dancing. And me and my boyfriend's mum went and we had a boogie together. And it was so nice. I was twirling her around. It was like a proper like, it was so good. I just love dancing so much, and I've been dancing so much this month, and I really feel like it's improved my mood so much. I don't know. It might not be like correlation doesn't mean causation. My mood just might be improved by the fact that my seasonal depression has really like, the sun is out, and the sun being out might also have caused me to dance more. So those two things might not be necessarily connected so directly, but yeah, I've just been dancing so much and it's been so great. I really recommend dancing. Okay guys, those are like all of my May favorites as far as I can remember, and as far as I remembered when I made that list. Thank you so much for watching. I'm nervous because I've been recording for like an hour and a half, and I only did like one test with the footage on this before doing this. I feel like I was a bit too brave. I feel like I maybe should have practiced with this a bit more, because like I don't really know if the settings are going to be okay. I did check whether the mic worked, so hopefully that'll be all right. But yeah, no, feeling very nervous in case this doesn't work, but hopefully you will be seeing this uploaded. And if you are, don't forget to like, subscribe and comment. Let me know what your favorites in May were, and let me know what you think of my May favorites. Let me know if you have any beef with my list. I'm very curious to hear. Feel free to join my Discord as well. I'll leave a link in the description. And thank you so much for watching. Hopefully now that I have this, I'll do, I don't know, let me know guys, would you like to see some like vlogs, like actually like out and about vlogs? Because before I'd always be a bit shy, because it's like either I'd have to get a big camera, which is a bit embarrassing, or I'd have to like blah blah blah, which I guess isn't that bad. I think the issue is less so with the technology I have and more so that I'm too shy to vlog in public. But I've got the DJI Osmo Pocket 3 influenced. It's like very teeny, so you can easily just like hold it, and it's kind of discreet. So maybe I'll do some in real life out and about vlogging. Let me know what you think. Anyways, I'm gonna go because I'm back on the reading grind. I'm reading for the first time in ages, which has been so lovely, and I'm very hooked on my book, so I want to go find out what's gonna happen next. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next week.